On Father's Day, my daughter sent me a gift box that was supposed to be a surprise, but my wife looked at it and whispered, "Don't open it." I frowned. "Why, can't you see?" Then I looked closer and froze in shock. 10 minutes later, the police arrived. You won't believe what was inside that box. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments below. Dad, do you even understand that I need the money now, not after you die? The coffee cup slipped from Samantha's hands and shattered on the hardwood floor. Brown liquid spread across the Persian rug. Her face flushed red, her manicured fingers still trembling. I gripped the inheritance documents tighter. 30 years of careful planning, reduced to weapons in my daughter's desperate hands. The papers crinkled under my white knuckles. "Samantha," I said, voice steady, "I'm not an ATM. You'll get your inheritance when the time comes." Peter, my son-in-law, lounged deeper into the leather sofa, smirking. "Come on, Will, she's your only daughter. What's a few thousand to help us out?" "A few thousand?" I repeated. Last month it was gambling debts. Before that, shopping sprees. The requests never stop. They just grow bolder. "Help you out?" I stood slowly, my knees aching. "I've helped you out for 3 years straight. My retirement fund isn't your personal bank." Jessica, my wife, appeared in the doorway, dish towel twisted in her hands. "Please, everyone, calm down. We can talk about this reasonably." "Reasonably?" Samantha snapped. "He's sitting on hundreds of thousands while we're drowning in debt." "Debt you created," I said quietly. "Debt from your own choices." The family photo on the mantel had fallen face down. Or had someone turned it deliberately? The silver frame reflected the light, showing nothing but emptiness. Peter leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "Look, old man, you're not getting any younger. Why not enjoy sharing your wealth while you're still around to see it appreciated?" "Old man," the words burned. This, from someone who never held a steady job, who lived off my daughter's credit cards and my occasional generosity. "I worked 43 years for that money," I said, my voice hardening. 43 years of 12-hour days, missed dinners, canceled vacations. Also, you could have a comfortable childhood, Samantha. So your mother and I could retire with dignity." "Dignity?" Samantha laughed bitterly. "What's dignified about hoarding money while your daughter suffers?" "Suffers?" I looked at her designer handbag, the jewelry, Peter's new sneakers. "Your suffering looks remarkably comfortable." "Your suffering," I said coldly, "is self-inflicted." The words hung in the air like a blade. Jessica went pale. "William," she whispered. "Should what?" Samantha shot back. "Should keep enabling your selfishness? Should pretend you're a loving father instead of a greedy miser?" The accusations hit like punches. Greedy, selfish, unloving. 43 years of sacrifice, and this was my reward. Peter stood up, his expression twisting. "You know what I think, Will? You like watching us struggle. It makes you feel powerful, doesn't it? Get out." The words came from deep in my chest. "Both of you. Get out of my house." "Your house?" Samantha's eyes gleamed. "This house that Mom helped pay for? The house where I grew up? You can't just kick out your own daughter." "Watch me." But she didn't move. Neither did Peter. They stood there like predators, waiting for me to back down. Waiting for the usual apology, the usual check. Not this time. I walked to the front door and opened it wide. Cool air rushed in, carrying the sound of neighbors' laughter. Normal families, happy families. "Samantha," I said without turning, "take your husband and leave. Don't come back until you're ready to talk respectfully about your own financial problems and your own solutions." "You'll regret this," she hissed, snatching her purse. When you're old and sick and need someone to care for you, remember this moment. Remember how you chose money over family. Her heels clicked like gunshots on the floor. Peter paused at the door. "This isn't over, old man. Family doesn't abandon family." The door slammed so hard the windows rattled. And then, silence. I stood frozen, hand still on the brass handle. Through the glass, I watched their car reverse out of the driveway, tires screeching. Jessica's footsteps approached. "William." The living room looked like a battlefield. Coffee stains on the rug, papers scattered like fallen leaves. The family photo face down, its silver frame winking mockingly in the lamplight. 43 years, I whispered. What? Jessica asked softly. 43 years of overtime, so she could have nice clothes, college books, a car for her 16th birthday. The wedding we couldn't afford, but paid for anyway. Jessica knelt, gathering the papers. She's struggling, William. The gambling problem is her choice, I snapped. Every lie, every emergency, every online bet, her choice. I turned the family photo upright. There she was, 5 years old, smiling, sitting on my shoulders at the county fair. When did that joyful little girl become this manipulative stranger? I whispered. Jessica said nothing. We both remembered the dollhouse she wanted for Christmas, the ballet lessons, the designer shoes. Every sacrifice made for her happiness. Now she threw coffee mugs because I wouldn't hand over my retirement fund. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. But I recognized her writing. Dad, I hope you're happy. The kids need winter coats and school supplies, but I guess your precious money is more important. Don't expect to see them anytime soon. Grandchildren, Emma and Jake, innocent casualties in their mother's war for my wallet. Jessica's face crumpled. She wouldn't really. She would, I said quietly. She's done it before. Maybe we should reconsider. No, the word came out like a gunshot. No more. I won't be held hostage by threats about the grandchildren. Jessica flinched. She'd never seen me this angry. But something had broken inside me that night. Something final. 6 days later. Father's Day morning. I sat on the porch, coffee growing cold in my hands. The neighborhood felt peaceful, ordinary. Jessica clattered around the kitchen inside. We hadn't heard from Samantha since that night. No calls, no texts, just silence, then the rumble of a delivery truck. A brown UPS van stopped in front of our house. Strange, I muttered. We're not expecting anything. The driver smiled. Happy Father's Day. Someone must think highly of you to pay for Sunday delivery. He handed me a box, light, the size of a shoebox. No return address. Who's that from? Jessica asked from the doorway. No idea. I set it on the coffee table. Jessica frowned. No return address? That's odd. She leaned closer, examining the edges. William, don't open it. What? Why? Can't you see the holes? They're for breathing. My stomach dropped. Now that she pointed it out, I saw them. Tiny punctures along the sides. Breathing holes. Something was alive inside. We stood frozen, staring at the box. The sunlight felt colder now. Then, a faint rustling sound. Jessica grabbed my arm. Did you hear that? I nodded. Whatever was inside was alive, and waking up. Then came a hiss. Low, drawn out, unmistakable. Call someone, Jessica whispered. My hands shook as I dialed 911. What's your emergency? We have a suspicious package, I said quickly. It's making sounds, hissing sounds. Stay calm, sir. Officers are on their way. Do not touch the package. 10 minutes felt like an eternity. Jessica whispered, Who could have done this, William? I didn't answer. But deep down I knew, the timing, the delivery, the malice. This wasn't a prank. It was revenge, the box hissed again, louder this time. Then, car doors slammed outside. Police. Officer Reeves entered, calm but alert. Mr. Carr, where's the package? Right there, I said. It arrived half an hour ago. He examined it. Holes for air, you said it hissed. Jessica nodded. He reached for his radio. Dispatch requesting animal control at this address. Possible snake. A cold wave ran through me. Snake. As he asked more questions, something clicked in my mind. A memory. A charge on my credit card 3 weeks ago. Reptile Palace. 127.50. Samantha had used my card. I thought it was for the kids, not this. The truth crashed over me. My daughter had sent me a snake for Father's Day. When animal control arrived, they opened the box carefully. Inside was a 3-foot corn snake, non-venomous, harmless, but very much alive. Beautiful specimen, the officer said. Someone paid good money for this. I just stood there, numb. After they left, the house felt different, violated. The air was thick with something unsaid. I stared at my phone, at Samantha's contact picture, smiling, carefree. Jessica whispered, "Are you really going to call her?" "I need to know." She picked up on the second ring. "Dad, happy Father's Day. How's your morning going?" My grip tightened. "Interesting morning, actually. You wouldn't happen to know anything about a strange Father's Day gift?" "No," she said quickly. "Why?" And then I heard it. Peter's quiet laugh in the background. Not surprise, satisfaction. My heart turned to stone. "Nothing important," I said softly. "Just a delivery mix-up. Enjoy your Sunday." And I hung up. That Father's Day, I learned something no father should ever have to learn. That sometimes the scariest things aren't in boxes. They're the people you once called family. I ended the call before she could respond, before my carefully maintained composure could crack completely. The phone trembled in my hands as the full weight of betrayal settled over me. Jessica appeared at my side, reading my face with the intuition of 38 years of marriage. "You heard something?" she asked softly. "Peter laughed," I said. The words came out flat, emotionless, echoing in the background of my thoughts. When she asked what happened, he laughed like it was the funniest joke he'd ever heard. Her hand found my arm, a steadying presence in the shifting landscape of our family. "What are you going to do?" she whispered. I looked down at the phone, then toward my home office, where my computer held access to the bank accounts, credit cards, and all the financial tools that had kept Samantha afloat for 3 years running. "I'm going to teach my daughter about consequences." 7 o'clock found me sitting in my office. Door closed, computer humming quietly in the still evening. I'd spent the afternoon in careful thought, walking through our neighborhood, replaying 30 years of financial decisions that had brought us here. The anger had settled into something colder, something sharper. My desk was covered with the evidence of a father's generosity, bank statements showing monthly transfers to cover Samantha's rent, credit card bills I'd paid without question, insurance premiums, car payments, emergency loans that were never repaid. 3 decades of enabling, disguised as love. The leather portfolio beside my keyboard held copies of checks for her wedding, receipts from the car I sold to pay her gambling debts, and bank transfers labeled emergency assistance that had become monthly obligations. Each piece of paper told the same story. A daughter who saw her father not as a guide, but as an endless source of money. The computer screen glowed softly. I opened our online banking portal. My fingers moved steadily across the keyboard, typing familiar passwords Samantha had never been given, though she'd managed to access plenty without them. First, the credit card account, the same one that showed the Reptile Palace charge from 3 weeks ago. Samantha was listed as an authorized user, a privilege I'd given her in college, for emergencies. 20-year-old emergencies. I clicked Manage Users. The system asked for security questions. My mother's maiden name, the street I grew up on. Simple answers that unlocked the tools I should have used years ago. Remove authorized user, the screen asked. My cursor hovered over confirm for 10 seconds, not from hesitation, but from the profound shift happening inside me. 30 years I'd funded her irresponsibility. Enough. Click. User access revoked. Changes will take effect within 1 business hour. Next came the PIN changes. She'd learned the old numbers, probably watching over my shoulder. I chose new ones, the year Jessica and I were married. Numbers that meant something to us, but nothing to her. Then the automated payments, monthly transfers, car insurance. The gym membership she claimed was essential for her mental health. Each cancellation required confirmation, a digital trail of me finally saying no. My hands didn't shake. This wasn't cruelty. It was accountability, decades overdue. I remembered her last call, sobbing over gambling debts. She'd promised it was the last time. I'd believed her. Transferred another $5,000, told Jessica we were helping our daughter learn responsibility. But I hadn't been teaching her responsibility. I'd been teaching her that consequences were optional. The final screen showed the summary. Credit access removed. Payments canceled, PIN codes updated. 30 years of enabling, undone in 30 minutes. Save changes. Outside, the suburban evening went on peacefully. The Hendersons grilling dinner, Mrs. Patterson walking her dog, normal families living normal lives. I clicked save. The confirmation appeared instantly. Account changes processed. Leaning back in my chair, I felt something I hadn't in years when it came to Samantha. Control. Not the desperate kind, real control. Tomorrow she'd find out her safety net was gone. Her card would decline. Her payments would bounce. For the first time in decades, her choices would be her own responsibility. Morning came with unusual peace. I sat at the kitchen table with my coffee, watching sunlight filter through Jessica's herb garden. No anxiety. No dread. Jessica moved quietly, refilling my cup with the ease of 38 shared years. She hadn't asked what I'd done last night, but her slight smile said she already knew. The phone rang at 8:15. Samantha, I let it ring twice more before answering. Good morning. Samantha, Dad, what have you done? She screamed. My card isn't working. The payment for my car insurance bounced. What's happening? I took a calm sip of coffee. Samantha, I know you sent me that Father's Day gift. Silence. Then her voice shifted, from panic to fury. You've lost your mind. How could you set me up like this? Set her up. Now what are you talking about? Not what gift. Her words told me everything. I didn't set you up, I said quietly. I just stopped paying for your irresponsibility. This is insane. You can't just cut me off. I have bills, responsibilities. Yes, I said. Like the responsibility to treat your parents with respect, to handle your own finances instead of depending on mine. She started to cry. Dad, please, you don't understand. Peter and I are struggling. The rent's due. The car payment, your car payment, I interrupted. The one I've made for 2 years. Your rent, that comes out of my account every month. Her tone hardened. Fine, don't expect to see your grandchildren ever again. I didn't flinch. Those threats stopped working yesterday morning. Silence. Then a whisper. I can't believe you're doing this. I'm your daughter. I'm struggling, and you're punishing me for something I didn't even do. Still no denial, just manipulation. Your struggle is not my responsibility, I said firmly. Your choices created this. One little prank and you lose your mind. She snapped, a little prank. There it was. The confession. A prank involving a dangerous animal isn't little, I said. And a father refusing to fund it isn't losing his mind. It's finding it. This isn't over, old man, she hissed. You think you can control me by cutting money? We'll see about that. The line went dead. A car engine roared into our driveway. Jessica looked at me. She's coming, I nodded. With Peter. The doorbell rang, sharp, demanding. Then again, then pounding. I opened the door. Samantha stood there, face flushed, eyes wild. Peter behind her, his jaw clenched. Dad, we need to talk, she snapped. We already did, I said. I was quite clear. You're insane. You can't just cut us off because of a misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding, Samantha, I said evenly. You sent me a snake. Peter stepped forward. Look, old man, maybe you didn't think this through. Samantha has responsibilities. Kids need things. Kids whose mother uses them as weapons? I asked. Yes, I'm aware. Fine, she shouted. You'll never see your grandchildren again. I looked at her calmly. That's not a threat, Samantha. That's a blessing. Shock froze her face. Peter's anger darkened. He leaned in close. We know where you live. You might want to reconsider. Are you threatening me, Peter? I asked quietly. I'm saying family works both ways, he sneered. Actually, I replied, it doesn't. Not when family becomes extortion. Samantha grabbed his arm, dragging him back. This isn't over, she screamed. You'll regret this. There already are consequences, I said. You're living them. They stormed off. Jessica's hand found mine. Her voice shook, but her eyes glowed with pride. We're going to need legal advice, I said. That evening the house was calm again. No shouting, no phones, no chaos. I called our lawyer, Margaret Summers, first thing the next morning. By afternoon, I was in her office, explaining everything, the snake, the threats, the confrontation. She listened carefully, then said, "William, this goes beyond a family dispute. We'll handle this on multiple fronts. We restructured our will." Samantha was removed. Instead, I created an educational trust for Emma and Jake. Money for college, books, and schooling, managed by trustees their parents couldn't manipulate. Then came the restraining order. Margaret took notes as I recounted Peter's threat. "The courts will take this seriously," she said. By the end of the day, everything was in motion. 30 years of enabling, undone by signatures and ink. "William," Margaret said as I left, "you've made the right choice. Your safety and peace come first." 2 days later, Margaret called. "They've been served," she said. "Both of them. It's done." I hung up, feeling lighter than I had in decades. Jessica joined me at the table, her hand slipping into mine. We didn't speak. We didn't need to. Our home was finally free. Our money was safe. Our peace was restored. Samantha had always threatened to cut us off from the grandchildren. But now, through her own actions, she'd made it permanent. The trust would protect the children's future. The law would protect ours. That night, Jessica and I made dinner together, the way we used to before the chaos. No phone calls. No manipulation. No guilt, only peace. For the first time in 30 years, I slept without wondering what tomorrow's crisis would cost me. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.